Okay, here we are. It's 8 o'clock on Monday, the 28th of August, Bank Holiday Monday. Just going to wait for, see who joins us. Let me just make sure I've got my setup correct. Make sure, let's see. Let's have a look. Do we have sound? Yes, we do. Okay, excellent. Right. Hello, Amy. Good to have you with us. You multitasking this evening. Oh, that's good. Just enjoying my cup of tea. Hi, Louise. Good to see you. Good to have you on board. Are you all set for back to school with your little fellow? I just had a first go this morning at my son Rupert. He's going back on the 7th of September. So I had a first go through the uniform and sports kit and a million other things that he needs. And unfortunately realised that I've got a few bits of sewing to do over the next few days until he goes back. So, woohoo! My favourite, sewing on name tapes. Gosh, he boards as well, so it's not just uniform that I have to do. It's pants, socks, vests, pyjamas, the whole lot. So, yeah, that'll be my evenings for the next week or so. But for tonight, it's a bit of crafting. So yes, I've been a bit quiet this last week because my husband has been home from Jordan. He went back on Saturday, so back to normal as it is at the moment. Thanks for sharing, Sandy. Excellent. So what other news have we got? I hope you've been enjoying the fantastic weather. I've spent a lot of the day out in the garden today, so I'm quite hot. The other thing is that my craft room's also my conservatory. Hi Sue, good to see you. So it's been pretty hot in here today, so I'm a bit hot and bothered and sweaty, but hey ho, it's nice and cool now. So we can, oh hi Jules, good to see you, glad you made it. So yeah, it's good to see you all here. As I say, I hope you've all enjoyed your bank holiday weekend. It's back to work for me tomorrow. Hi Lou, good to see you too. Okay, so we've got a few on board. Let's get started. I've got a couple of different, as usual, I've got 4 different projects for you this evening. So the first one I want to start with is this one here. And just, who have we got? So I'm just checking that we're in, yes, good, right, so we're in shot. So this one is using a stamp set I got a little while ago. I haven't quite had a chance to break it out yet, so I thought I'd give it a go tonight. I've made this one quite masculine. So this is using the Crafting Forever stamp set. I love this saying, crafting whenever, forever, housework whenever. I wish I could actually live by that. That would be great. But yeah, I think this one's a lot of fun. So we've got this one, which is, as I say, quite masculine. So I'm going to do, as usual, I'm going to change the colour scheme up a little, and I'm going to do it in pink. So just get my markers, just 1 second. I always forget something. There's always one thing. Right. So this is a really, really easy one. When I do up the video and post it onto my website, I'll post all of the dimensions and everything else for you. So save me trying to remember what they are as I'm going here. Housework never, Julianne. Wouldn't that be great? Imagine having someone who could do it for you. Heaven. I need to sell lots more Stampin' Up stuff to be able to afford that. Right, so we're starting with a base of early espresso. And then we've got 2 pieces of powder pink, which is one of our new in colours. Okay, and then we've got a panel of early espresso and a panel of very vanilla. Okay, so let's start with our stamping. So first of all, we're going to take the pen image from here and ink that up in Early Espresso. And the stamp pad. Am I in shot? Yeah. I always got to keep checking that I'm actually in shot. Julianne, do you think if we all banded together we could get someone to do all of our housework for us? They could just have, we could have them each for a day a week. Wouldn't that be great? All right, let's see if I can get that straight. Ta-da! I love it when that happens. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our powder pink and we're going to use the sentiment from this Flourishing Phrases stamp set. We're just going to say just a note, which is this one. And what I want to do is I want to just line up where I'm going to put my panel so that I know where to stamp my sentiment. So I don't want to stick it down just yet. So we'll just line that up and then line the sentiment up underneath. There we go. Excellent. Okay, and then we're going to do the inside. So you'll see on the inside of just absolutely Jules. You find her, I'll pay her. Right, we're going to do the pens on the inside. Okay, so I don't want the full lot. I just want a little bit in the corner. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to colour in my pens. Now I don't want to colour in the whole lot because, well, basically because I'm just too lazy. But I just want to give them a hint of colour. So what I'm going to do is I'm using Daffodil Delight with the goldy bits. These are expensive pens. Not quite Mont Blanc, but you never know. Okay. There we go, and then we're going to do a little bit of pink. Because these are girly pens, these ones. There you go, and then for the stripy one, I'm not going to colour in all the stripes. I'll be here all night, and it'll be, for you guys, it'd be the equivalent of watching paint dry, so I won't do that to you. Let's do the leaves on here. And then we're going to take some Melon Mambo, just to give it some highlights. Again, I'm being pretty random with these stripes, because I can't really see them, to be honest. And we'll give these flowers a centre. There we go. And I think we'll do this bit pink, this bit, and these two bits. There we go. I think that will do it. There we are. Then we just get some glue, which I've already got. Very organised of me. The one good thing about hot weather, there's lots of good things about hot weather, but what I notice in hot weather is that my glue comes out a lot more easily, so I don't have problems trying to get it out like I do sometimes. Okay, so there we go. We've got our panel, so I'm just going to stick this bit onto the inside. And our card base back in. There we go. And then this bit is going on the front again, just with glue. I'll even try and get it straight. There we go. And then we'll pop this panel up on some dimensionals. You see that okay? Yeah. There we go. And there we have it. 2 Just a Note cards. One girl, one boy. What do we think? Do we like the brown one or do we like the pink one? Oh, I know what I forgot. You probably can't see it, but I can. Is that I went over all of the goldy bits and added a little bit of Wink of Stella. Just for fun. There we go. So that is card number 1. Let me hold them up a bit so you can see them a bit better. There we go. I think I prefer the brown one actually. I think I prefer the boy card. Okay. Right, so that's card number 1. While I'm getting the bits for the other card, I just wanted to mention a couple of things to you. One is to remind you that my open house is on the 9th of September, which is a Saturday. So those of you who are reasonably close to me here, I'm close to Guildford, hopefully I'll see you there. It's free. There'll be make and takes from the new catalogue, there'll be prizes, there'll be all sorts of great stuff. Those of you who've been before know all about it, so you can check on my website for the full details of that. But for those of you who can't make it on the 9th because you're too far away or you're not available, the Facebook Live the following Monday, thanks Jules, the Facebook Live on the following Monday, which is the 11th, I'll be going through some of the samples of what we've made on the Saturday, so you won't miss out entirely, which is good. The other thing is, I mentioned last time about online classes, and since last week's Facebook Live, they are now available. So I've got 2 online classes, which I've put on for now. There will be more once I get around to it. The first one is featuring the Carols of Christmas stamp set and the coordinating die set. And the second one is featuring the Star of Light stamp set and coordinating die set. Now again, all of the details, timings, prices and everything are on my blog, but basically how it works is that you can order either just the instructions, which is a PDF and video for each card that we make. In these bundles you'll get instructions for 4 cards. Then there's the online plus pre-cut package, which is basically access to all of the online materials plus the bits cut out for you to make the cards. So if you already have the stamp set, then that's perfect for you, and it gives you enough to make 12 cards, so that's 3 of each design. Then there's the bundle which has the online tutorials and the paper cuts and the stamp set. And then there's another bundle which has everything and the dies as well. So in the pre-cut projects, anything that needs to be die cut using the die set will be die cut for you. Anything that needs to be punched out or anything like that will be there for you. You just have to stamp on there. So have a look on my website and check those out. If there's any particular sets that you'd like me to feature, then do let me know and I'll do my best to get those on for you as well. Right, so next on to the next card. So this one here is one that I wanted to show you, which is just something a little bit different as a layout for your cards. Instead of having your sentiment like we normally do, sort of straight or across. And it looks really great, but actually it's really, really easy. So this one is made using the Daisy Delight paper, and then I've stamped inside the Happy Birthday. But the one I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a bit like the other one. I'm going to do a slightly more masculine one. So I'm going to use this. I had thought about using this side, but I was reliably informed by my muse, who's Amy, that I should go for a boy card. So we're going to do that. Okay. So we're going to start with a basic black card base, and you can see I've folded this the long way, just to be for a bit of a change. And then we've got a panel of DSP. This is the Whole Lot of Lovely designer series paper from the catalogue, which I'm absolutely loving. Then we've got a panel of white to go on the inside, and we've got a strip of black and a strip of white for the front. And you'll see that the strip of black is just 1/2 centimetre wider than the strip of white. And the stamp set that we're going to be using is Happy Birthday Gorgeous. And the colours that we're going to use are black and Pool Party. So again, super easy card. At this rate, we're going to be finished in half an hour. I'll have to string it out a little bit more. I don't know, what can I do? I'll have to think of another project to do maybe if we go too fast. Right, so we just center our paper. Oops, I did say center, didn't I? That's the beauty of the glue. Gives you a couple of minutes just to get it lined up. Okay, now what I'm going to do for this is, what I like to do is align the white piece up where I want it to go on my card. Okay, and you can see I've cut it. Usually I cut it about the length of the card, so I know that it'll go all the way across on a diagonal. And we're going to have It's Your Day. Stamp set, block, there we go. So I'm just going to stamp that in black. Okay, so again I can just use this to just give me a view of where I want it on my strip. And then I'm just going to put it right in the center, like that. Okay. And then I'll just bring in my black piece and stick the white to the black. You can see they're the same length because I don't want a border at the end, I just want the border at each side. Now just to remind you that when you're using the black archival ink, it takes a little bit longer than our other inks to dry. So just be careful that you don't smudge it. Okay, so then we'll just flip it over and put some glue just along the middle like that. And then we'll just do that, just stick it down all the way across. And then I'll get my scissors and we just flip the card over, open it up. And we just, I don't know if you can see this with the light, but we just use the piece of cardstock to guide our scissors to trim off the bit that's sticking out. So it saves having to do lots of fiddly measurements and angled cuts and all of that stuff that's just, you know, life's too short. So there's our front, and then on our inside we're going to stamp Happy Birthday in black, and I'm going to bring in a stamp mat for this. There we go. Try and get it straight. There we go. Now on the inside of this one I did some flowers because it's kind of girly, but this isn't really that girly. So for this one I'm going to do the balloon. So we've got Hooray, and I'm going to stamp that in Pool Party, which is one of the colours on the front. Just ink that up. Let's put it here. There we go. And I think, yes, we have a little swirly bit, which is, there it is. So we can add a little string to our balloon. There we go. Cool. And then I'll just pop this in. Now I'm looking at the front of this, and apart from the fact that I've just smudged ink on it, it looks a bit plain to me. So I think what I'm going to do is bring some of these. I showed you these when we had when I gave you the catalogue previews. These are our lovely new black rhinestones. Perfect for cards like this. So I think we'll just put a few about the place, like so. I'm going to do that. There we go. There, I think that looks better. So there we have it. Smudges aside, which is your favourite? Girly or masculine? Not sure I can choose that one actually. Yeah, the girl's more summery, isn't it? Yeah, cool. Right, so there we go. Card number 2, all done. Right, so the next card is kind of 2 cards at once. I'll show you what I mean. It's using the marbled background stamp set, which we used, wasn't last time, might have been the time before, to make some cards, and I've been having a lot of fun with this one. So this is they're kind of reverses of one another. So this is where I've stamped, this is Flirty Flamingo, and I've stamped the image on Flirty Flamingo card, and then I've done it again and I've die cut out the happy birthday from that. I think is quite cool. These are really, really quick and easy cards to make, but I'm going to do these slightly differently. For these ones, as I said, I used white and Flirty Flamingo, but for this one I'm going to use Berry Vanilla and Crumb Cake, and I want early espresso this time. Okay, so let's start with our Very Vanilla card base. Okay, so we're going to do this one first. You like the floral one, Jules? Yeah, I think I agree. I think you're right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to then take our panel of crumb cake. I'm going to need this and some scratch paper. Okay, and we're going to ink up our marbled stamp. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to use early espresso on this one, just to give it a bit of more definition. I want a bolder finish on this one. So, like I said before, with the big stamps, it's best to ink up the stamp and then lay the paper down onto it. There we go. So we take that, and then we just lay our piece down and use our block to just press it into the stamp, making sure not to move it. And look at that. Isn't that fab? Okay, and while we're doing it, let's ink this up again. And I'm going to ink up a smaller bit. This is what we're going to cut the happy birthday for the second card from. So again, just lay it down and press. There we go. So I'll put that to one side for a second. Okay, I'll bring that back in a minute. So we'll bring in, this is one you got to watch out for inky fingers. So bring in our Very Vanilla card base, and here's our happy birthday, which I've die cut from Very Vanilla. I'll just pop those bits out. Get my dye brush, but it's on the other side of the room and I just can't be bothered to go and reach for it. So we'll just poke it out. It's behind me by my big shot. There we go. There we are. Okay. Alrighty, so all we need to do with this one is this. So I'm going to get my, I won't bother with the fine tip glue pen for this one. So I could have used our sheets, our adhesive sheets to do this, but again, they're in the cupboard somewhere. Not quite sure where they are. So, do you ever have that problem where you know you've got something but you just don't use it? While I was in Ireland, well, actually, while my mum was here from Ireland, my dad installed some cupboards for her for all her crafting stuff. So it was kind of haphazardly all over, various stashed in various places around the house and the kitchen and stuff. But he built her some custom cupboards for her, so she's got a dedicated craft spot now, which she's absolutely delighted with. So when I was home in Ireland last week, we had a lot of fun sorting through her stuff, and like that, you know, she was finding stuff that she'd completely forgotten that she had, and yeah, just working out where, yeah, Doreen. Yeah, all the time. To be honest, I like to be organised. I don't always find the time to be organised, but I do find that having a good clear up regularly helps you really keep track of what you've got. Yeah, you just, you don't realise that you've got stuff, and then suddenly you find it and you think, oh, it's like getting it brand new all over again. So that was kind of my mum. She rediscovered stuff, and unfortunately the other thing that she discovered was that she had double bought stuff because she'd forgotten that she had it already. So maybe she might give me some, I don't know. But it was her birthday. It was her birthday yesterday, actually. So I'm buying her presents at the moment. Right, and then I've got our... I was going to use our white accents because that's what I used on here, but I don't think that's going to go. So what I'm going to do instead is use my pearls, which I think will work just as well. Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one who struggles with where their stash is. I think it's a common crafter's problem, isn't it? Right, there we go, and a little one here, yeah, and then put one there. There we go. So that's card number 1 using the marble stamp set. I think this is going to be one of those ones that I just pull out all the time because it's just, as I say, it's so versatile and you can do so much with it. So that's that one. And now we're going to do this one. So I've already cut my panel. I'm just going to quickly bring the big shot over. There we go. And we'll just cutting plate, pop it down, and cutting plate on top. So this is just a standard sandwich. There we go. There we are. Pop that back. And then, as if by magic, I have my die brush. So it's much easier to do it like this. See how easily it releases. There we go. Just got to be careful of these swirly bits on the end. There we are. Let's pop that to one side. And then, are there any odd bits? Wow, look at that. Looks like wood grain, doesn't it? That's fab. That turned out better than I thought it would, actually. Right, so where's our card? Right, here we are. So we've got one other thing to do. Right, is we're going to stamp on here. Okay, this bit at the side. So what I did last time was, bring our pad in again, is that I inked up again in the same early espresso. But this time I'm stamping directly onto the very vanilla panel. So I've cut this a little bit long, again just to give me a little bit of room for error with the stamping, but you'll see in a second what I mean. Okay. Oh, look at that. Nice. Okay, make sure my fingers haven't got ink on them, because this one really hasn't got a lot of forgiveness for inky thumbprints. There we go. Right, so what we do is we take our panel here, okay, and again, I'm just going to stick it down using glue. There we are. That's about right. So, actually I wanted the other end with the glue on it. Never mind. I'll bring this in so I don't get glue on my work surface. There we are. See, I'm the expert. Can't you tell? Okay, here we go. So line that up against the edge. And just like we've done on the other card, we'll just trim it, turn it the other way around so you can see, and just use the edge of the card as the guide for your scissors. Now, like I said, you could measure it precisely if you wanted to, but I like to do that just so that I can pick the bit of the image that I really want. Okay, so put that over there. So that's that. A little bit of glue down there, I think. There we go. And then we've got our happy birthday. And we just stick this down the same way. Yeah. Being careful not to put too much on, otherwise when I press it down the glue will squidge out and it will smudge on my card front, which I don't want. Okay. Then there we go. Look at that. Nice. And you can see my panel here is a little bit wider than it was in the original. So there we go. And then I think we'll use the pearls again and just pop a couple around. There we are. So there we have it. Pink or brown? Which do you prefer? Can you see them? Can you see them both there? Move it that way. I can't actually see what you can see until a few seconds later. So there we go. So again, it's just two different ways to use, well, actually three different ways of stamping that marble stamp. So it's tone on tone, which is what we've used to get the happy birthdays and to get the backgrounds in on these two, and then stamping it onto a neutral color just to get, I think this one looks like ice cream, don't you? Fabulous. Right, so where are we at? What are we at? You like both the brown the best. Jules likes the pink. We're divided. Got a divided opinion here. Yeah, I have to say I'm really pleased with how the early espresso on the crumb cake turned out. I think that gives a really rich effect. And Flirty Flamingo is not a pink colour I use all that often, but I think it turned out quite well. Like I said, this just looks like ice cream to me. So there's plenty of birthday cards for me, which is good because I've got lots of birthdays coming up in September and October. It's tons of them, tons of them. Don't know, everybody seems to have been born around that time. Right, so I think that's all my cards. I think so. Right, what else did I want to tell you? Also to let you know that during September I'm running a special offer, which is that for every £40, every order over £40, I'll send you a free gift. Which is these a pack of these stitched felt embellishments. Get my false teeth in the right way around. And these are from the new holiday catalogue, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I think I used one of these on one of my cards. So you get 4 each of these. So as I say, any order over £40 during the month of September, and I will send you a packet of these, which normally cost £8.25. Remember to use the host code, and I'll update you on what the new host code is for September when I've assigned it, and you'll get an extra present as well. Finally, the other thing I wanted to remind you of is a special event that I'm having on the 16th of September, that's a Saturday, and that's a baby books, what's the word? Workshop. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making up books basically charting the first year of baby's life. So you can do it for someone who's already there, or you can do it for someone who you're expecting. So if you're expecting a child or a grandchild or something like that, this would be perfect for you. So what we'll be doing is we'll be using these, the Bundle of Love project kit cards to make up basically our scrapbooks, and the price will include a 12 by 12 leather bound album, so it's really quite substantial, and some pages to go in it, and it'll include the whole bundle here, and then we'll use various stamp sets, inks, punches, dies, whatever, to create our pages during the workshop. That has to be booked and paid for by the 1st of September. So if you or anybody you know might be interested in doing something like this, then please do share and let people know that it's happening. I've got room for 5 people maximum, because with scrapbooking it takes up a lot of space. So get your orders in quickly so that we can get that sorted. So yeah, I think that's it for tonight. Can't believe I got through so quick. I'll have to do some harder projects next time. Those were a bit too easy, I think. But anyway, thank you for joining me. It's been a pleasure seeing you all again. Thank you for sticking with me, and we'll see you next week. Bye.